right, round number 2. Let's see if we have audio. If you are joining live, then let me know if you can hear me. Hopefully you can, because I'm about to share something that was rather profound for me this morning. I was having a meditation, and experiencing being in this field of light and traveling through the multiverses and just experiencing everything as a spark of consciousness. And as I was exploring in this field, at the end of this meditation, I saw a vision of planet Earth. And on planet Earth, around planet Earth, there was this grid. I often have referred to this grid like the false matrix. So it's like it looks like a grid. That's just the easiest way I can describe it. This grid, this false matrix, has been fueled by fear and keeping us in the illusion of being separate from the light that we are. And the interesting thing there is that if, when we have been programmed and conditioned by fear, that is what is being broadcast more of. And it keeps the whole fear story running on the planet. What I noticed was interesting because I've seen this grid before. However, what was new today and very exciting, I shared this with one of my clients just a little bit earlier on, and something really clicked in place. She had a vision of parts of this, and it's like it completed the picture of what that as this grid has been around the planet, I noticed that there were gaps, holes in this grid. And beyond that matrix, there is this infinite field of light, absolutely exquisite place of being. And one of the things that I was shown is that as those holes in the false matrix are there, it's like that's where the light is coming through. And as more and more and more people on the planet are awakening, waking up to the truth of what you are, who you are light, expressing yourself in your unique ways. That as more and more of this light is coming through these holes in this false matrix, that grid is not going to be able to sustain itself. One of the things that's exciting to me, I'm like, yeah, be the light, right? Choosing, committing to being the light while we are here in this body and dealing with all the stuff that's going on the planet can be a bit challenging at times. Yet I was showing that as we each continue to choose to unhook from this false matrix, as I literally saw people on the planet with cords hooked into this false matrix, and that as more light is coming through, as you have unhooked from this false matrix and you are completely plugged in, if you like, tuned in to this field of light, then the frequency that you are broadcasting in your body is being connected in with that field of light, transmitting that through your body. You are like the transmitter, the in-between that brings literally the light through your body into the earth to ground this. That requires clearing all the fear and all the agreements and all the programs of where you have not let the light in your body or in your life. As more and more and more of us are unhooking from that false matrix, then our presence, simply being on the planet, connected in with that field of light, being able to sustain that frequency, is what is going to be elevating the frequency on the planet, is going to disintegrate this false matrix. Now that sounds very exciting. It does to me, maybe to you too. Be really curious. If any of you can relate to this, if you've had experience of this. One of the things that I was reminded to be aware of is that as more and more light is coming through, that what that does is it shines a light, it brings to light, it illuminates all those places where the light has been pushed out, blocked, limited, not acknowledged, not allowed to be. Yeah, so anywhere in your life where you may be finding that you are running on old programming, old agreements, or you're committed to being the light that you are, and yet there are certain areas where you are just lacking trust in the light, and therefore the ego self has been wanting to control those areas. Those are some of the ways that we stay hooked into the false matrix. So breaking free from that takes daily practice, daily recommitting to the light that you are, being willing to trust the light that you are to show you the next steps as and when required. And one of the other things that will tend to come up a lot is that as you make that commitment to fully be the light you are and express your light in the ways that are most uplifting and joyful for you, in whatever capacity you do that in the world, exiting this false matrix and choosing to function and operate in that field of light can bring up fear of leaving those that you love and care about behind when they are still hooked into the false matrix. And one of the things I was showing there is that it is not our business to go in there and want to rescue anybody. There's no rescuing to be done. Actually, that is one of the things that keeps part of you hooked into the false matrix, by you being willing to give yourself permission to say, you know what, I am choosing to be the light I am. I'm choosing to unhook any and all ways that I may have been hooked in this false matrix, and allowing that to be released, dissolved, and recalibrated with the light that you are, allowing yourself to be sourced by the field of light, allowing that to flow through your body, recalibrate your field. And from that place, as you show up in your everyday activities, you are broadcasting that frequency of light that may just be what sparks something in somebody else that you may have completely not expected. The most magical things start showing up and unfolding. So my invitation for you is to just let me know if any of this resonates with you. Can you relate to this? How has this been showing up in your life? Are you committed to being the light you are? How is that showing up in your life? I'm really excited about seeing what else is opening up as more and more and more of us say yes to this invitation. And that we also need to remember that we are so supported and so loved and so cherished. This is the time we came here to be. And even with all the chaos and all the madness happening in the world, the truth is that we are light. We are of the light, and thereby allowing any of these false support systems and false loyalties to structures that were driven by fear, run by fear, operated by fear, anything that triggers fear in you. Now, one way that can show up is doubt, second-guessing yourself. Yeah, fear has many disguises. It can show up as shooting on yourself. It can show up as judgment. It can show up as comparisonitis. It will bring up feeling not good enough or having to feel superior, comparing yourself. Yeah, self-doubt, second-guessing yourself. All of that, underneath that is fear. You maybe have a tendency to people please or to procrastinate or let the perfectionist run the show. Or maybe it's worrying. These are all the different disguises. I like to call them joy blockers, thieves of joy. I go deep into that in the Joy Booster Bootcamp, and then even deeper in Elevate Your Frequency. So, I'm so excited to share this. I'm about to go and walk the dog. It's almost sunset here. It's magnificent. And then going live for the next Q&A for the Joy Booster Bootcamp. If any of this is of interest to you and you'd like to explore turning up the light that you are, allowing yourself to get some support with clearing what's been keeping you hooked in that false matrix, oftentimes it can be aspects of us that we may not see clearly yet. Someone else may be able to support you with that. So if that's of interest to you, then hop on over to come and join the Joy Booster Bootcamp. You can still hop in now. It's all available until Monday. And there's lots of other things I'm going to be sharing. Anyway, I wanted to pass this on to you as a way of, as my beautiful client said to me, it felt incredibly liberating and confirming, knowing that this is what's available. And this is, I'm not very great at drawing, but this is what came up. It's like seeing that this is the earth and this is this grid. This is this grid around here. And there are these holes in here. And these are the hooks of the people connected in with this false matrix. Through the openings in this field of light are where you find the frequencies of true abundance, harmony, peace, flow, ease, joy, freedom, all the elevated frequencies. When you allow yourself to lift into that field of light, fear cannot exist there. So it requires a willingness to unplug, to say goodbye to the past, let yourself be elevated in frequency, lift it up into the light so you can get on with it and be the light you are and live the life that is available for you to choose. And that's it. All right, I'm glad that you can hear me. This is awesome. So we got that glitch resolved. I'll be sharing a whole lot more moving forward. And for now, love to know what's been valuable for you from this sharing. When I receive these visions, I often find an inspiration. It lifts me up, and through me sharing, may it do the same for you. Lots of love. If you are not a member of the Facebook group yet, we're starting the new Uplifters Nation Facebook. I'll put a few links below and you can come and join me there. All right. Have an amazing day, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. This is Tina signing off.